Questions you need to consider before signing with representation. Number one, does their services cater to the work that you want to do? What do I mean when I say that? If you're someone that wants to do theater and they don't offer theater in their service, they're not for you. If you're someone that wants to model and that's not a service that they provide, they're not for you. To the best of your ability, try to find representation that caters to as much of what you can do or want to do, because otherwise you will have to find separate representation that caters to both that and what you're doing. Does that make sense? So try to find one, try to consolidate all those services down to one as opposed to trying to go off into different multiple things. Number two, how many people in their roster are of your type and range? It makes no sense to join an agency with 5 people that look like you, sound like you, walk like you, and talk like you. Because an uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to talk about is that it is not unlike an agency or a label or a management to sign you and then shelve you. It's a tale as old as time. So make sure when you're signing representation, ask that question. Do you have anybody on your roster that is like me? Because you want to be the lone wolf standing out for what you bring to the table. Number 3, how do they prefer to communicate with their clients? Sometimes that's text, sometimes that's call, sometimes that's by email, and how often? Oftentimes, you'll know when they know. You don't need to hound them all the time. However, if your representation is not good about communicating, that's something that you need to know early on, and you need to know their communication style early on so you don't feel some kind of way about it weeks or months after the fact of like, right, like I have representation, but their communication is not that great. So rather you know that early on so you know what to expect. Number 4, what advice do you give to actors to make them more marketable? Oftentimes we have our own perceptions for how we're going to be perceived in this business, and that's all well and good. But the reason why you have representation, be it an agent and or a manager, is from an outside perspective, because maybe they're seeing things that you're not. I'm not saying that you just take all that to the wind, but be open to their suggestion, especially when it makes sense. And especially if they're seeing something and talking with other industry folk, other agents and casting, and maybe casting's giving them feedback, you might want to consider being open to that. Second to last, commission rate. Okay, a talent agent takes home 10%. A talent manager takes home anywhere from 15 to 20. It just depends. Unless you're in a right to work state and unless you're non-union, that is the industry standard. If you are being asked to submit payment up front before you've even signed with them, it is a scam. Your representation only makes money when you make money. And then lastly, what is their submission strategy for new clients? Again, you're new to the roster. This is your first time with them. I say it before, I say it all the time. It takes casting anywhere from a year to a year and a half to get comfortable with you. So trust that you have now put yourself in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. Again, assuming you've done the work, you've had that meeting, you've had the conversation. It would behoove you to maybe ask, wait, how do you see this working out for me? I'm in a new market, or we're trying to compete in this other market, for how best you'll be marketable going forward. Like, save, comment for more. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok and the podcast.